everybody to Steve and Friends. I trust that you're going to be staying with us just for the next few minutes. It's going to be worth your while to do so. The weekend of 19 to 21 of June, we're going to be celebrating our church's, Hillsong Church's Heart for the House weekend. And I have to say it's one of the highlights of our calendar, and you'll learn why in the next few moments. I want you to listen to people from different walks of life who've got their own perspective on Heart for the House, and they'll be making their own decisions on what to do and what to give in these COVID-infested times that we are in. Let me just tell you a little bit about Heart for the House, what it is for those of you who either don't know or just want a refreshed view of it. Basically, Hillsong Foundation is the entity through which we get tax deductibility, so that our tax deductible projects can fit in there. And the Heart for the House is literally just the end of the tax year, when on one given weekend we've been praying about this, we've been planning for this, and then families and individuals, even businesses, decide what they want to contribute. And so it's an exciting season every year, and the proof has been that the generosity of our people is immense, no matter what the season. Now, it's not rocket science, because if you can get many thousands of people to combine their generosity to common causes, then obviously we can make a massive difference through that synergy, through the things that we are able to do both here in Australia and around the globe. And very quickly, just to remind you that over these recent years, what we've been able to do through that generosity is literally build the church facilities that are being seen in Australia, in our cities and our localities where we have a church, as well as overseas. We can't expect the government to do that for us, but we do that through this generosity, through the Heart for the House season. We've literally at the same time changed the lives of multiple millions of people. And that is true because through our partnerships, for instance, with Vision Rescue in India, through our health and education programs there, that affects multiple thousands. Hillsong Foundation Africa is our partner, of course. Residential schooling, education, training programs. I've been there myself and seen it, seen residential buildings, facilities there for kids with special needs and physically challenged. It's a beautiful thing that has been done. We have, of course, the Homes of Peace right here in Queensland, helping those who have suffered the trauma of domestic family violence. We run our city care programs through this Heart for the House giving and Hillsong Foundation. That helps kids, it helps youth and families across Australia. We support A21, which fights to eradicate human trafficking. 180TC here in Australia that helps men and women with drug dependency, and scores of other things. We could go on and on, but together, just by choosing those partners, the things that we can do on our own, and together with them, we are making a massive difference. And if you've already given, thank you on behalf of all of those recipients, because it's amazing. The thing to remember is it's tax deductible, it's above our tithes and offerings. And if you want to know now, we'll put it on the screen at the end, but you can give through hillsong.com/Heart for the House, which is HFTH, and do that. Now then, I've got some amazing people in the room today to talk to. We've got Paul Murgard there from the Sunshine Coast. We've got Brad and Carissa Coring from the Gold Coast. We've got Andy Heiser, who's nowhere near a coast. He's in the big smoke of Brisbane. But together you're going to learn a few things about the practicalities of how people process this and what they're choosing to do. So Paul, welcome to you first. Let's start with you. You live on the beautiful Sunshine Coast with Kirsten and with your boys. By the way, is it sunny on the sunny coast today?
Well, I think you can see it coming in behind me. So it's beautiful, sunny, and actually fairly warm today. So
that's awesome. You're looking good, my friend, even though you've just had a very serious back operation. And yet here you are with a smile on your face and doing all of this. We so appreciate you, always have to. Now, you've been part of Hillsong Church since 2014, firstly at Newcastle, so you survived Sanger and the gang for a little while there. I'm sure that we will pay good money for the best ones, I promise you. You've been in Newcastle, you've been in Noosa, and then you became part of the Sunshine Coast South Pioneer team when we started there last year. In fact, you and Kirsten have been the service leaders there for that. We're very grateful. And you know the story, and just to let people know, we only started a year ago. We're already in the hundreds of people, and great future ahead. Now then, Heart for the House season, Paul. You've worked in business. You're a businessman. You've got your own business in the States. You've worked in numerous, in the charitable, let's say, sector as well. So you've got a good view both in business and in charity. And here we are in this season where businesses are closing or in trouble, jobs are being lost. So should we expect the idea that people say in these sorts of times, nobody gives to charities, nobody helps anybody else? Is that what we can expect, or how does that land?
Yeah, Steve, look, I think it is tough in the charity sector at the moment. There's, a lot of different charities are struggling, but I think, when there's tough times, tough people rise to the fore. Yeah. And I think what a lot of charities are also finding at the moment, there's just incredibly amazing people who rise to the challenge to go, you know what, when others are struggling, we're going to fill the gap. And I think we've, in the Destiny Rescue Royal work at the moment, we're seeing that with some of our donors that are just really rising to the fore, going to that next level. And as we always talk about at Hillsong, it's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice. And there are some people who are doing well at the moment in their businesses, because not like my US business at the moment is actually thriving. We've had the last 2 months have been just as good as what our Christmas sales would be for an e-commerce platform in the US, and we're doing exceptionally well with that. So you've got others, some businesses doing well, others not, but you see people's generosity rise.
It's been amazing. I'm sure you've noticed it as well, that while society says these are tough times, everybody's doing it bad, the reality is, especially in the world that we live in, we're getting so many stories of businesses doing better, people getting jobs, losing jobs and then getting better jobs and so on. So it's a remarkable time. So for yourself and your family, why would giving to Hillsong Heart for the House be important to you? You've worked with Red Frogs, you've been in the Salvation Army, you've, as you say now, executive manager in Destiny Rescue. Why is giving to the Heart for the House at Hillsong Church, your church, so important to you?
Yeah, Steve, I think, for Kirsten and I, as Christians, as Christ followers and stuff, we want to be partnering with what our church is doing as well. And we want to be investing into the kingdom, even though, my work is investing into God's work as well. But we love the opportunity to be something that's bigger than ourselves at Hillsong. And whether that be, I've spent time in South Africa. I've been in some of those slums that I know the Hillsong Africa Foundation work in. I've been in some of the slums over the years in Mumbai and stuff where I don't know whether it's exactly the same place that Vision Rescue work in, but we love feeling part of something bigger and actually being able to contribute to what our church family is doing and what we're doing as a church, to see the gospel extended, to see new facilities provided for our churches. We just want to be part of that. And it's a real privilege to be able to join in with that. Yeah.
Well, as volunteers, you two have been absolutely awesome, it has to be said, for many years, and especially in this recent season. Now, you would be designated, there's a phrase that we would use in the Hillsong world, a kingdom builder. Can you just explain in layman's terms just a little, what is a kingdom builder?
Yeah, I guess kingdom builders are those of us at Hillsong Church that really feel called to finance the kingdom, to really go above and beyond, I guess, in our giving and to really put that at the forefront of what we do. We love the Kingdom Builders community at Hillsong. I'm gutted actually this weekend we were supposed to be in the Hunter in May in the Hunter for the Kingdom Builders weekend. It's such a beautiful community of people in Hillsong Church that are part of Kingdom Builders, and we just get a lot out of that relationally. But I just think, we feel like God put a mantle on us to go finance the kingdom and do whatever we can to really help our church go forward and continue to grow and have an incredible impact around the globe.
That's awesome. Well, just to clarify, some people might think, kingdom builders, well, therefore they're the 10 or the dozen wealthy, rich people in Hillsong Church. Not at all. No. I remember taking somebody for the first time to the retreat that you just referred to, and this businessman, he just gave because he was generous. He had no idea where he was coming to. And he got in there with his idea of 10 or 12 people, and hundreds of people, and not the rich people or the business people alone, but bus drivers and all sorts of beautiful people who just feel like one of their callings in life is to fund the kingdom. So that's an awesome thing. You're a kingdom builder, and so many others. And even as pastors, just so everybody knows, we only ask others to do what we do. We're kingdom builders ourselves in our own right. So thanks, Paul. That's awesome. Can we just shoot across? Let's go down south to the deep south of the Gold Coast. And we've got Brad and Carissa down there. Alaskans by birth, 3 kids together. Brad, you're a creative pastor, you're a triathlete. That's what you tell us anyway. You're a stand-up comedian, I believe, 1 or 2 have mentioned. But Carissa, maybe you answer this one. How on earth the 2 Alaskans end up living in Brisbane? I mean, how did that work? On the Gold Coast, I should say.
Yeah, the Gold Coast. So from Alaska, we came to Sydney for Hillsong College, both of us about 16 years ago, which makes us feel really old.
Wow.
But from there, we would spend a few years there, basically, and more or less since then, Hillsong Church has been home, which is amazing, because coming to college, that's kind of like the ultimate dream that you actually think would never happen coming from America, but it did. And we got to move up to Queensland 10 years ago now.
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And get to be a part of the team here, and now moving to the Gold Coast. And I think not a day goes by and we don't pinch ourselves going, we can't believe that we get to be a part of this, that our kids get to be a part of this growing up, and that this is still home and we get to have a part in building this incredible church.
Yeah. One amazing thing when anybody says the name Colrig, of course, there's 3 generations now in our church in Queensland, which is a cool thing. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
So, Brad, why would you and Carissa prioritize giving towards Heart for the House when you've got a young family? I mean, I know your wage because I'm your boss. And we're definitely not among the rich elite aristocrats of Australia, but this is important to you.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned generations, and we do have 3 kids. We've got a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and 4-year-old. And to be honest, we're incredibly motivated by building a home for them to grow up in, a church home, a strong, healthy church home for them to grow up in. In September of last year, we took the family camping down in the snowy mountains, and it was the most fun you could possibly imagine. And we played in the snow, and it all happened. And on the way back, we stopped in at the Hills campus just to say hi to everyone there, and just for an hour or 2. And the kids got a tour by Gabe Kelly around the Epicenter and saw the kids' facilities there. And to be honest, when we got home, what they went and told their school classes about their whole trip, one of their highlights was seeing the kids' facilities in Hillsong Church in Sydney and getting taken around there. And they were just mind blown by it. And we were chatting as we're driving away from there in the car about that tangible experience, going, man, hey, this is what we're actually a part of building in Queensland. This is what we want to build at home. Yeah. And that's incredibly motivating for us. And specifically, it being here on the Gold Coast and with the new venue coming very soon, that's something that motivates us immensely, is that's going to be a space that they spend a lot of time in. And that's for our kids, but I know it's true for so many. But we're motivated by that to build a healthy, strong, incredible place for people to grow up in the things of God.
That's fantastic. So the fact is, we need 21st century facilities in all of our locations where a kid gets excited about going to church. That's kind of what you're saying. And I think it's a great thing for parents to say, church is important to us, our faith is important to us, and we're going to bring our kids and our families up in the house of God. It's important. And so in your heart, as you said, there's a motivation to let's build great church facilities around the country. Gold Coast was so excited. You're going to be great beneficiaries directly of that, because Highland Park will probably be open the next time we're allowed to all meet together. But even Brisbane Central, part of this foundation giving, Heart for the House giving, enables us to again upgrade the children's facilities. And at both Gold Coast and Brisbane Central, we're hoping to have a treasure chest, which we're really looking forward to, venues where you can look after kids with special needs as well. So that's pretty special. Brisbane Downtown is just about to open new kids' facilities. So if anybody's considering, what am I giving to here? What is this all about? You're making a difference by building the sort of church facilities, 21st centuries, that our kids and grandkids would love to be part of. So thanks for doing that, you guys. Really appreciate it. And if I can go to another young adult, that's what he tells me, Mr. Andy Heiser. He's in Brisbane right now. looking very intelligent in your doctor of degree office right there. Andy has been on staff as a youth pastor latterly, giving oversight to the young adults in Brisbane and across the state. He's a Brisbane Broncos chaplain. We won't mention the result last night, mate. He's a mad Liverpool supporter with emphasis on mad, and a great sports fan extraordinaire. But living life to the full, you've got 2 fantastic kids, a great wife, and you and Jade have made the decision, the same as the Corrings have just expanded, to make this part of your life, to give to Heart for the House, which is a great thing. But you actually went, Andy, to India in 2018 to see for yourself some of the results of the giving. You visited Vision Rescue and Biju Thampi, who's one of our heroes. But why did you go?
Yeah, that's right, Steve. We, with a group of the Kingdom Builders, went over to Mumbai and got to see firsthand the work that Vision Rescue do. The main reason is, I guess, I wanted to see firsthand, like where our finances were going and what they were going towards, and it was an eye-opening experience to be able to see all that Vision Rescue do, the amount of effort and work that goes into helping people over in Mumbai and the slums, and really right across India. So it was really, I wanted to see firsthand what it was as a church that we were a part of, and what we were giving to.
And what did that do in you when you came back? What was it enabled you or other people with you to do?
Yeah, it was, I don't say it lightly, but it was life-changing. I was actually talking to someone about it recently, about just the trip home from Mumbai, flying into Singapore. And I remember the slum has about 6 million people that live in that slum, one of the largest in the world. And I remember, and we were in there, we did tours in there, we kind of fed, kids on the bus in there. But I remember just flying back thinking, like, we obviously can't do everything, but we have to do something. And really from that, I spoke to Jade, and really we wanted to try and drum up as much support as we could for the Hillsong Foundation through our young adults. Our young adults they're in the season of life where they've got a lot more, disposable income, at their disposal. And we wanted to make sure that our young adults weren't just thinking like insular, they were thinking about other people. They were thinking about how we could use our combined resources to really make a difference. And every time I think about that trip, think about the impact that it had, I loved my time in India, and I'll be definitely going back.
Yeah. See, one of the great things about Hillsong Family, the people that we're working through, when we're saying we're partners, it's not just throwing some money overseas and hoping this works. We're working with people of integrity that we know and have been part of their world and their life for many years, as in Biju Thampi. So it's great to actually see, and I've been to India, I've been to the same slums, and South Africa, Paul mentioned it before, and it's really quite remarkable. I don't know about you, Andy, but in those slums, I remember Joyce welling up with tears, not just at the poverty, which is the obvious thing that strikes you, but meeting the teachers, 21-year-old, 23-year-old degree graduates, and here they are working in a slum, and their wages were being paid for by Hillsong Foundation, Heart for the House offering. And Joyce lost it thinking, these kids, I'm here one day in these slums, they're there like 6 days a week, or some of them 7 days a week, all because of the generosity. It's quite a remarkable thing, hey? So when you've explained that to other people, have you found that, especially in the young adult community, people have captured that and got involved themselves?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. I feel like we as a church, we tell the story of whether it be Vision Rescue or what we do with the Hillsong Africa Foundation so well. And, as we've been talking about it across our young adult community, we've been able to engage so many more people, whether it be in the Hillsong Foundation, whether it be being a part of the Heart for the House offering. And like you said, I think when you experience the reality of what goes on over there, you understand that we live in a very blessed country. We are a very blessed people, and we can't do everything, but we must do something. And that message that we just keep driving through to our young adults is that, hey, we're in a great spot in our life. We live in a great country. Let's make a difference with the time and the resource that we do have.
Yeah, wonderful. I remember you saying the phrase that people have remembered before because you're so quotable. But it was a great phrase. You said it's not their fault they've been born into poverty, but it's our fault if we do nothing about it.
Yep.
And I thought
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like many of us, like we, even with the Co-Rings, third generation in our church. I've grown up in our church. I'm blessed to, be a part of the family that I'm a part of. But I didn't deserve this anymore as much as anyone else. And the young kids and the families that are growing up in those slums, they didn't deserve that upbringing either. So we'll do everything we can to help and provide as much as we can for them.
That's awesome, mate. Well, listening to all four of you who've spoken there, I think it's pretty clear for everybody that these are people who are just making big decisions. The COVID season is the same the world over almost, although the results are slightly different, but it just causes everybody to think about life, think about priorities, think about what you want to do, think about the resources that you have, and however large or small they may be, but they're just decisions that everybody has to make. I know Pastor Brian's heart in talking to him in the last couple of weeks during this challenging season for everyone is he's a pastor. He's definitely not badgering everybody. You've got to give, you've got to give, you've got to give. As a pastor, he's saying, do your best. And I think for the sake of the world that we live in, we should just all make a decision prayerfully to do our very best. And that's what I know these guys have done, which is why I've asked them to speak. I know it's something that Joyce and I take very seriously. We kind of work out the week after Heart for the House Giving what we're aiming for the next year and doing our best. But let's make a difference. What it means is that your giving this year will build churches, not only in the Gold Coast, but we've got plenty of vision for other places around Australia globally. But right here in Queensland, we've been beneficiaries. We've done so much at Brisbane Central over the years. Brisbane Downtown Theatre is directly a result of this. Gold Coast is going to be a direct result of this. We've got plans in other parts of Queensland and Northern Territories also. And you've already listened to some of the differences we can make in the developing world by helping kids and helping families that are not in a position as we are to help themselves. So do your absolute best this year, and together we're going to make a big difference. Don't forget it's tax deductible. You can give at hillsong.com/HFGH. We'll put that on the screen for you to help you, and you can also give on the Hillsong Giving app. We're just around the corner. It's just a few days away, so prayerfully consider the best that you can possibly do, and come on, together, let's change the world for as many people as we possibly can. And the Bible says, Proverbs 11, the world of the generous gets larger and larger. The world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. But listen to this, the one who blesses others is himself abundantly blessed. Those who help others are helped. So, friend, do your best. God bless you for listening. God bless you as you consider what you're going to do. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to Brad and Carissa. Thanks to Andy. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. See you.